Hey guys, we've had a little fun riding around. As you may or may not know, the Pro X is in here. So I got it up on some blocks on the little furniture dolly I built years ago. And I knew this one ski was pretty, not hurt necessarily, just it had a carbide missing, right? So no dramas there. Looking around here, trying to decide where I put it. I need to clean up my tools. Anyway, where on earth did it go? I thought I had it in the truck. Alright, well, we'll have to find... Oh, here it is. So it looks like a remains of a bolt, and then somebody kinked it over and put it back on or some stupidity. Anyway, we've got some decent carbide pieces we can harvest off of that. So I'm thinking we need to get the other ski off. What's happened here is pretty damaged. There's a crack from here to all the way down here. And then we got a number of different holes. Got a really egged out hole. So, I just got back from the metal shop. And I got a 5-foot piece of round rod, 1/2 inch. Got some 3/16 by 1 inch flat bar. And some pipe. I've been thinking about having a seat riser on a Polaris. So we got those 2 pieces of pipe for that project. And the new skag can be 1/2 inch round rod. This here is also 1/2 inch round rod. And depending which direction you measure, this is 1/2 inch wide. It's not quite 1/2 inch thick. So I'm not sure if it's flat bar or, square bar, or, the edges are rounded. So it must be round rod. But we have the capacity to bend that, so, and then I got this piece of carbide I bought off of the internet, and maybe later we'll buy some more pieces of carbide, but I think we better take the other ski off, and then we'll probably end up making our own skags. At least we have a little bit of carbide. Maybe we can divide that piece in 2 pieces and then use that for the forwardmost piece of carbide. But this ski, the part that bothers me the most, this is a camouflage ski. Maybe universal, I'm not sure. But this crack over here. So I feel like I need to take a stab at trying to weld it together. Something has to be done. I could probably, I just don't know what I want to do. Got a little help with the tools. So we are we're wrapping this up. I'm done with this. So this is a skag, homemade by me. And even some plastic welding. So this was split wide open. It's already splitting. So I got a strip in here and L holding that. The mounting hole's right here, so I had to skip and then come back here and do another. We got 2 rivets on the side and then 1, 2, 3 on the top, 2 on the side, 1, 2, 3 on the top. And then I just had a, I don't know, just remembered you could plastic weld with rivet zip ties. And I thought it over and I just grabbed a torch. I figured the tip would be hot enough so I could just melt it down, but it'd be interesting to see how this stuff holds up. There we go. I don't know. The main thing is to keep the corn stubble from getting in there. And then that's my carbide round rod. That ought to ride pretty. Should last a long, long time. It's a big piece of carbide compared to these little bitty strips. But they're in a little channel. They ought to stay in there pretty good. Be nice to grind down the edge to keep it from catching on pavement or metal or whatever and getting killed. So I might try that yet. Well, I do have the grinder blade in the cord grinder. So that'll wrap that one up. The other one's still over here on the stump. I don't have to do anything with that. I just wanted both to be brand new, but this doesn't have a flat bar under it. Well, I guess what we could do is put a flat bar under it. I don't think these are quite 18 inches long like the other ones are. Yeah, if we could stick a piece of flat bar under, that would really up our game. I think whatever the guy used was just a piece of old skag. So we could get that sandwich in there. That would be pretty good. That would help save our ski a ton. They're about 18. They're just a different type, I guess. And then we should probably add more carbide up here. Get those little pieces that I had. There's actually one more somewhere. Yeah, I like that idea. Well, probably we're gonna snap everything. I do have bolts. That's not the problem. Yeah. I wonder how much these camouflage skis cost, because I don't know if this washer is really a great idea. I wonder if there's supposed to be a metal slug in there. Well, if that's the case, I do have some spacers from all the old Kohler engines I've had apart. Yeah, well, if we get a piece of metal under there, that'll be good. All right, let's get right into that and see if we can get that knocked out before dinner. Hey, good morning, guys. This morning we're ripping right straight into the Pro X 600. Got the diesel heater going. It is blowing from the south, and this wall is full of cracks. We're pretty cold in here, but remain optimistic. I think we're gonna put the skis on this girl again, drag her out the door. I have parts coming for this. I could dump some coolant in it and probably run it. But right now it's more important to me to get the skis fixed. And that's really all it needs. The other thing I guess we could tackle today is the front coolers. At the very front where they come up through the tunnel, behind the airbox, the rivets are pulled through. So that's something to look into at some point in time. And I think if I take the bolt out here and back here, I can drop the suspension down, reach up in there, throw some bolts and washers at it, and it should be good. So the other thing I like to do is build a seat riser and make it a nice, comfortable trail snowmobile. But those are all things to think about. Meanwhile, I think we should probably get cracking straight into the black one. But before we do that, I want to show you guys the skis and what I've done to them. So here's what was left of the skag on this one. Not a lot. And here you could see, maybe not, get this right. That used to be a bolt. This is basically a broken off skag. And somebody bent it and stuffed it in just so. So all that was gone. And on the other snowmobile I had, it had dual runners on a nice wide flat bar. And I like that idea because basically once all your steering material is gone, I mean, if you persist past the carbides, it'll wear out the steer bar and then it'll come to flat, and then you'll have literally almost nothing to steer with. And if that doesn't get your attention, then I don't think you're probably fit to be on the trails. So this guy here we were able to save. I got some bits of carbide that I took off of here that I added on the front. This piece was gone, so I ground down a little channel, laid it in there. There's a little gap here that's filled with solder, and then I rounded up that with a little piece on the tail. So this is one solid trail carbide now. I know it's not a lot, and that was also a broken off skag wear bar. So basically I got a flat piece of steel yesterday at the welding shop. I got a piece of 1/2 inch round rod. I don't think I would personally choose to do 1/2 inch round rod again. The only reason we did it is because this is 1/2 inch wide. So I'm a little skeptical about that idea. So there's where we took the pieces of carbide off, moved them over to this guy, and this was all fresh made. This is a 3.1 millimeter round piece by 100 millimeters long, cut in half. So that's a 3 millimeter round piece of carbide, and I think that should do very well. The only thing is, I think it'd be pretty beneficial to have a nice little arch in these, so that you're mostly steering with the center bit. So we'll see how we go. This one is fairly well arched. It's pretty cheap actually to make skis. I think I probably paid right around $10 for 5 foot of this and 5 foot of the 3/16 by 1 inch flat bar. And there's a little bit of round rod. I keep the flat stock over here. I'm not sure. Oh, basically it's nice round edges. I could have gone 1.5 inches wide. I really wish I had, because the ski is getting eaten up right here on the edge. So if we had something to protect that a little bit better, that'd be good. But for now, this should raise it up. I have a feeling that these skis are almost worn through. Over here, we had a split all the way down here. So I had a piece of aluminum sheet metal that's nice and thick. I found this along the road at some point a year or two ago. So what I did is I made a little L, and this is all hollow inside. After, of course, I got all the corn stalks out. So I did two rivets on the side and 3 in a row. And this piece is about this long. Not quite as long as the split. And there's a gap here and another piece. So it didn't quite cover the whole split. So after I was done, I remembered, well, before I was done, I decided to take zip ties and see if I could plastic weld. So I kind of goop-gopped all that together, filled in some of the cracks. Turns out these skis are most likely poly, and the glue some of this is super glue, but this zip tie stuff right here is really brittle. But at least the holes are shut now. That's pretty important to me. I was thinking about trying to pop rivet a patch on here, and then I think it'd get ripped off almost immediately. So from now on, we're going to try and stop riding down we got a lot of bridge crossings and road crossings. Yeah, a lot of bridge crossings. So I end up lots of times putting one ski up on the snowbank and then riding all cocked over on an angle, and I think what's happening is the edges of the skis are hitting. So I mean, they shouldn't hit anymore, but we're going to try and make a conscious effort to keep the carbides on the road. I think these carbides should last a long time if they're taken care of properly. And I'm pretty sure these skis should get me through another year. And I'm happy to have this crack sealed. This was all split open. I mean, corn stalks are that thick if you don't know, and they were all shoved up in there. So the other thing we're doing, so what the kid did before, I got a long bolt here. He simply took this bolt, put a big fat washer on the edge. Somewhere there'll be a washer like that. Just stuck a big fat washer in there and just smashed it together. So instead of using a washer, we're going to use a spacer on each end. That way we're clamping onto this part here. So I mean, basically we could use a short bolt and just go from there to there, but I have a lot of these spacers. I even have some long ones I can cut to fit, and then I'll just reuse these bolts. I'm going to see if I can find lock nuts, and maybe not, I'll use Loctite and lock washer. So we're going to throw these skis back on. I really like these guys. They literally weigh almost nothing. They're very light. They look very tough, and I guess they're blow molded, so all this fat area here is hollow. All this is hollow. So I ended up draining a ton of water out of these. Got some puddles everywhere. Even after I had them, had a little stump with a hollow spot in, and I stuck the tail in and just let the heater blow on it for a while. So that's all done and all good. I think that repair is as good as it could possibly be, and an adequate amount of effort for what the skis are actually worth. So next year we probably need to look into getting another set of good used skis, but for now I really like these. So we're gonna stick them on and go with that.